All right, spontaneous video idea. So let's just jump into it. The 3 mistakes I used to make as an early investor that I wish I never made. All right, I wish, of course, I had never made those mistakes, because I would be somewhere else right now, you know. I'd have more than this little amount that we see in the corner right there, which is still substantial. It's still substantial to what I would have. Let's jump into it. But we're not here to regret. This is not the fucking goal here. We're here to learn. Everything costs something. Learning costs something also. Let's jump into it. First one, being impatient. And by being impatient, I mean checking every day, right? Checking every day for price fluctuation. Right, this is gonna drive you nuts. And you know, if you see plus 7 or 8% per day, and you're like, hell yeah, man, I'm doing good. You know that this is actually not good. It's actually average. It's actually normal. All right. In our days and our times, it's actually normal. 7-8% up, 7-8% down. There's nothing special about this. When I see that, I'm not like, wow, I'm a god. It's just normal. Tomorrow it will go down by 7%. You know, nothing special here. And being impatient means you're not thinking long term enough. And what do I mean by that? I mean 5 to 8 years. But in crypto, for most investments, that should be 5 to 8 years. Because if you can double your money every 5 years, you're actually doing really good. Let me just show you. So if you have 1,000, let's say you're able to invest within 5 years, 5,000. I think that's quite low. It's 1,000 a year. It's not much. That's less than 100 a month. Okay. So for the first 5 years, you're able to invest 5,000. Now that doesn't hold true to much, but say you're only able to invest 4,000 or more, and you keep investing. Say after 5 years, you're able to double that. Okay. And you can change the numbers, and you can say, oh, it's gonna be 5 or 8, or you know, and say, oh, okay, well, if you want me to be fair, after 5 years, you've got 5,000. After 10 years, you got 10,000. After 15 years, you got 20,000. Right? Because maybe from year 1 to 5, you keep putting some cash in. Maybe you're just able to put 3,000. Who knows? And here's why you need to put a little more when you start. But let's continue the example. After 20 years, you've got 40,000. Am I doing something wrong here? 25 years, 80,000. 30 years, 160,000. Let's do 150,000. 35 years, 300,000. 40 years, 600,000. Okay, so maybe you're better than this, and after 5 years you've invested 5,000, but you've also made some money. And now instead of instead of 5, you would get 10. So let me think here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. 5 years, 35, you've got this. That's pretty good. I mean, you're doing really, really good. Because doubling every 5 years is actually really good. That's 100% divided by 5 years. Meaning you're doing... let me think. 20% a year. Which is really fine. It's really fine. You know? But... and here's another thing. So that seems all right. Here's another thing. If within 5 years you're able to put 5,000, say, right? That's not much. Everybody can do that. Then after 5 years, you not only have doubled your money. Let me think here. My point is you're gonna put another 5,000 that second go around. Okay. So maybe you're at 12.5 or 15. You know, because you've doubled your 5. Just follow me for now. You've doubled your 5, which is 10, but you've also put another 5. Okay, so that increased this to 30, this to 60, this to 120. Oh, suddenly we're talking quite a difference. 240, but let's do 250 because it's close. It's easier. 5, then a million. That's pretty good. But for this year, you've also put another 5,000. Maybe you've gotten better at it. Decide to put 10,000 over 5 years. That's 2,000 a year. That's just over 100 and something per month. Anybody can do that. Now you're at 40,000. And that 5 here, it becomes 8. But maybe you are able to put another 10,000 that year. So it's at 9 this time. Are you following? And then the 9 becomes 18. But maybe you're doing that. Then becomes 36. Okay. Becomes 7. That becomes 1.4 million. You're just doubling every 5 years. That's pretty good. Now everybody knows it doesn't take 5 years to double your money in crypto. Maybe 3 years. But now all of this can be reduced. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 years. 20 years. That's fucking amazing. And that's just doubling your money in crypto. Come on. So that's the power of being patient. Patience will get you there. I had 4,000's worth of Bitcoin. I have one whole Bitcoin worth 4,000 bucks. 2017. Sold it because I was tired of being impatient. See my point? Now I would have over 30,000 or so with my 4,000. So it's doing a lot better than 100%. Maybe it's 200%, 300%. You can tell it won't take us long to get to where we need to go. Okay. So that's the first thing. Being way too impatient. Wanting to do things within 3 months or 6 months or a year or two. So that's the first thing. The second thing is selling it. That was my second big mistake. I was done. I was done with it. And I decided to sell it. And even though you can make 2,000 and put it somewhere, now you're left with what? Because if you believe you'll always invest all your life, or you find fun in it, you know, or you find that you always are attracted to investments in one way or another. And of course, how can crypto not be interesting? This is where you get some of them, if not the best returns, right? Now, there's a lot of risk involved, and that does lower your returns. Be prepared to lose 60% over dumb shit, all right? Dumb shit. You know. But you'll still make, 5 times your money either way. Not financial advice. And selling it really was a mistake. If I would just have held it, put it somewhere. Hardware wallet, paper wallet, just put it, crypto steel, just put it somewhere. Forget about it. That was the mistake. Even if Bitcoin like 10 times, I'm not gonna start spending it. It still has a lot of room to grow. And the third mistake was unworthy distribution. I used to put like, I have like a little bit of Bitcoin, $200 of Bitcoin, $200 of Ethereum, and like $200 of this and that, and some other X amount over here, unknown.
Hey, this is Sarah
You know.
from Antigan and Sarah. Check out our new song.
And just having too much risk. Like, I think I had a coin that was like number 200 or something, and I put like $200 in it, and people were like rallying over it. Then it went up, and I made like 2,000. But if I would have gotten out of it, I thought we were still going up. And then somebody sold, on us, and it was gone. All that profit was gone like that. Boom. Turned my phone on the next day, and it wasn't there anymore. It went from 5,000 to 8,000 in my portfolio. I felt like a god. Goddamn, I felt like a king. I felt great. Next day it goes back to 5. You're like, well, shit. So unworthy distribution, taking profits all the way up, always. Because you're not just there to hodl and represent, you're there to make profits. Or if you're there to make profits and you're not there to hodl and represent, and are you okay with it going back down? That's your choice. 3 mistakes I wish I didn't do. And if we look at our current distribution, it's a lot more skewed towards the 2 big projects, because we're just before Ethereum fork and just before the laws that are gonna come from Washington and other government bodies, and before the institutional investments. That's why I'm a lot more here. But normally I would have $50 here, and $50 here and $50 there. Something like 700, 600, and then 500 for the rest. And more of a worthy distribution, So these are the 3 mistakes I used to make as an early crypto investor that I'll never make again. I'll never be impatient again. I can forget about this and be pleased. Or move some money into USDC and come back in a few months or so. I'll never sell it. Bitcoin didn't used to be called digital gold, but now it's called digital gold. So there's no interest in selling it. And Ethereum is way too useful, way too important. That's gas fee. That's like gasoline. You may be able to take like 10% at some point, pay yourself a car or whatever else. That's good. That's fine. Not everything. Fuck it. And then unworthy distribution is just a matter of risk, you know? Even if I believe in FTX, if I put 200, which is 10% of my portfolio, I'm still risking. There's still bad, or not bad things, but, you know, some risk that we want to avert. The fact that it's a central exchange, for one, these are on the decline, right? The fact that they are, I don't know, you can find X and Y reason. I don't like their interface too much right now. They'll come around it. Same thing with Litecoin. You want to put 200 bucks, 10% in Litecoin? Why? Where is it gonna go? It's not moving. It's not doing anything. You know. Or you want to put 10% in Shiba, or, you know, Compound, Aave. You never know how it's all going to change in 2 years. There's a risk in different factors that we have to consider. Is it going to boom now, or is it going to boom in 5 years or 10 years? You know, when I look at the Helium project, for example, when is it supposed to be? You know, I see it's down the road. So I'm not gonna be investing much now because it's capital that, in my opinion, won't do much for some time. You know, like Maker has a lot of potential, but is it for now? You know, you can factor that into the risk and consider it risk. Why would I put 100 bucks in Maker right now? And we can wait. It's like backing it's like any big company backing any small project. They won't just drop in their full allocation. They'll start with some amount of allocation, and then maybe in a year or two they'll buy more and spend more on that. You know, like Disney, for example, gave Polymatic like an office at Disney, and they're buying into the project and, you know, things like that, but they're not putting in the full weight of Disney and its allocation. They're just starting with something small, and if it goes where they thought it would go, you know, in terms of their collaboration and their sales and their numbers, then they'll open the valve and do like 10 times more at a year or 2 or 3. But we also have to think like that when we're looking at smaller projects. I encourage smaller projects. You know, Baby Doge, let's go, why not? Life Peer, Linear, 525, DeFi Money 2, or whatever the fuck this is. Fractal, it's so far. You don't need much more than $1. It's that far. You know? $5, do whatever you want. I have too many to put $5 in everything. I'll put 50 cents everywhere. It's gonna take 3 years or 2 before it becomes like, you know, mainstream, interesting, whatever. Like Stacks, for example, is top 100. It can take a year before people talk about Stacks, you know. But DApp Radar, gonna take 2 years at least, unless they fucking break something. You know, then they'll shot up. You know, Polka Bridge, why would it take less than 2 years? All right, you can't just put $10 somewhere and have it do nothing for 10 years. Burger City, you know, Yield Guild Games, you know, all these gaming platforms, they're all already out there. You can already play the games, right? They're already something, you know. They could keep doing better things, but it could take years. I mean, Minecraft, for example, I was in early enough with Mojang, and then throughout the years it became bigger and bigger. You know, every 2 years or so it really jumped in terms of scale. Minecraft, you know. So yeah, I mean, there's different types of risk. And there's some things that are gonna keep going up, right? And there's some things that might or might not keep going up. I mean, which one of the top 15 is gonna keep going up, and those that won't go up? All right, they're not all gonna stay there though. Well, if that's the case, that's a big difference between 1 and 2 and top 15. You know, top 15 is like, well, I don't know which one is gonna go up. Dude, that's huge. You can't fucking blast $200 each of them. You know, whereas 1 and 2, you know, gonna keep going up. Because everybody needs it, everybody wants it, everybody wants to be on it. We're actually looking for the third one. What's gonna be the third one? What is gonna be the fourth one? These positions are still, they have not been taken yet. You know, third one is USDT. Of course, there's a lot of USDT, sure, and USDC. But is Binance supposed to be number 3? Binance gonna keep going up? I don't know, I have my doubts. Is Ripple supposed to be there, number 3? Cardano? How is Cardano number 7? Jesus Christ. That's high. Solana? What do you think? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana? We still don't know who is number 3. But when it happens, we'll know. You know? I think it's gotta be technology that is very basic and very different. Say that. So Ethereum in a sense is very basic compared to the rest of them.
It's probably even softer than
Also vast, and it's also very different from Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's soft.
Because it does smart contracts. Right? Huge difference. Right, so what's the next one? DeFi something?
Nothing feels like Cashmere.
Something like Ethereum, but isn't built the same way, like Polkadot?
A perfect summer's day out in the yard.
It's not gonna be a funny coin.
Kids playing under
Although,
the sprinkler. Just laid back.
Shiba Inu is quite the ecosystem. They have quite the plans and the projects in the works, and it's very interesting.
Gentle insect repellent.
You know, but it does need everything for it.
Easy to apply
Going for it, I mean.
That's not
Is it gonna be an exchange? I don't think so.
For up to 5 hours.
Because you need the coins to work the exchange. The exchange is just a tool for a broader, you know, a broader use. Right? Nah, I think top 3 is somewhere in here. Somewhere in the top 20. We just don't know which one it is yet. Okay, I'm fucking done. Have a good one.